Welcome to The Explainer. In any company, you've got people who just punch the clock, and then you have the ones who are the real engine. So what's the difference? Well, today, we're diving into exactly that, organizational commitment.
It really comes down to this one powerful idea, this psychological bond, and that's what we call organizational commitment.
So that's the big idea we're tackling. But here's the thing you've got to understand. It's not like a light switch. It's not just on or off. The really cool part is that it's more like a ladder, a journey with 5 totally distinct levels. And yeah, we're going to climb them together. All right, so let's get into it. Every journey has to start somewhere, right? And when it comes to commitment, the first couple of steps, well, they're the bedrock. This is all about basic professionalism. Okay, level 1, this is the absolute ground floor. We're talking about the fundamentals, the baseline of what's expected of you in pretty much any professional setting. Think of this as like the table stakes of being a professional. You're adhering to the standards of conduct, respecting the company's agenda, fulfilling your basic job requirements, following the rules. And what's really crucial here is that there's no deep emotional connection just yet. It's transactional. I do my job, you pay me. You're fulfilling your end of the bargain, and that's the foundation for everything else. All right, let's climb up a rung to level 2. This is where things start to get interesting because people shift from just passively complying to actually becoming active champions for the organization. So at level 2, you really see a change. People aren't just following the rules anymore. They're actively supporting the mission and goals. They're making choices that help the organization. They're cooperating with their coworkers. This is the person who's promoting a positive image of the company. They're starting to see that their success is tied to the team's success.
Okay, now we're at level 3. And I gotta tell you, this is a big one. This is probably the most critical turning point in this whole journey.
This is the point where the organization's goals start to feel like your goals. It's a really profound shift in your whole mindset.
Yeah, this is the real turning point. People at this level, they willingly go above and beyond. They're not just punching a clock. They're prioritizing the organization's needs over their own personal preferences, even making sacrifices when it's necessary. They're showing this incredible dedication because they genuinely want to see the organization succeed. And this visual really captures it, doesn't it? This is that moment where commitment isn't just a duty anymore. It becomes a choice. It's not about what you have to do, but what you want to do, what you choose to do for the organization. And that shift, that's everything.
All right, we're climbing even higher now. The last 2 levels, these are all about true ownership and some serious, courageous leadership. So, level 4. This one isn't about winning a popularity contest. It's about having the guts, the moral courage to stand up and do what's right for the organization, even when it's hard.
This is when you're defending those difficult but necessary decisions. You're acting on the company's values, even when you're under pressure. And maybe, most importantly, you're the one who speaks up when you see those values being compromised. It takes real courage.
And here we are, the summit, level 5. This is where it's all about the big picture, a kind of strategic thinking where the long-term health of the organization is everything. This is really the ultimate expression of commitment. It's making decisions that are for the long-term benefit of the entire organization. It's accepting some short-term pain for yourself or your department for long-term gain. And it's not just about you. It's about asking others to make sacrifices too and inspiring that commitment in them through your own example. It's all about the greater good. Okay, so we've seen all 5 levels. We've reached the top of the ladder. But now what? Knowing the levels is one thing, but how can organizations actually foster this kind of commitment? How do you help people climb that ladder? Well, the source material actually gives us 6 pretty deliberate strategies. It all starts with clear communication. You can't commit to a mission you don't even understand, right? Then there's recognition systems. You got to celebrate the behavior you want to see. Leadership modeling is a huge one. Leaders have to walk the walk. Then you've got development opportunities, an inclusive culture where everyone feels they belong, and good feedback mechanisms so people know where they stand. These aren't just buzzwords. They're the building blocks for creating real commitment.
So, what's the big takeaway from all of this? Well, this slide boils it down to 4 really important points. First, remember that it's a progressive development. It's a journey, not an on-off switch. Second,
Commitment shows up in observable behaviors. That's huge because it means you can actually see it, assess it, and coach people on it. Third, its strategic importance is massive. This stuff directly impacts performance and whether people stick around. And finally, the focus is on development. This is the most hopeful part. Commitment isn't fixed. You can actually build it. You can cultivate it. So, you've seen the ladder. The real question is, what's your next step? Thinking about your own journey, this framework is a great way to think about not just where you are right now, but where you want to go next.
Hi everyone. Today we're breaking down a powerful interview topic, organizational commitment. It's all about how well you align your behavior, values, and decisions with your company's goals. In simple terms, it's how you show loyalty, integrity, and teamwork. Not just when things are easy, but especially when they're tough. When an interviewer asks something like, "Can you describe a time you showed commitment to your organization?" they're really testing how dependable you are, whether you'll stand by the company's mission, make smart decisions, and support your team, even under pressure. There are 5 levels of organizational commitment. At the most basic level, it starts with professional conduct, showing respect, following policies, and doing your job with consistency. Then comes active organizational support, where you start representing your company positively and collaborating across departments. At the 3rd level, personal commitment, you go beyond expectations, putting organizational goals ahead of personal preferences when it really counts. Then, at level 4, taking tough stands, you defend the company's values, even when it's not popular. And the highest level, acting for the greater good, is when you make long-term decisions that benefit the organization's future, not just short-term gains. To ace an interview question about this, use the STAR method. Describe the situation, your task, the action you took, and the result you achieved. For example, you could say, "During a budget cut, I worked with my team to find cost-saving options that didn't affect customer experience. It took extra hours, but the changes ended up saving the company 20% without layoffs." That kind of story shows initiative, loyalty, and alignment with company goals. Everything employers love to see. So remember, organizational commitment isn't about doing what you're told. It's about believing in what the company stands for and helping it succeed. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time for more helpful tips right here on Ace the Job Interview. Wishing you the best on your next interview. You've got this.